everybody. It is Kathy, and I love to be selling. Come on in, sellers. Come in and get settled and let me know how you are. Let me know how the weather is where you are. I'm here in New York City, and it is hot, hot, hot. So let me know if you're getting hot weather too, or if it's a little cooler for you. Do you guys have rain, thunderstorms? Let me know how your weather is. And while you're settling in, I'm going to introduce myself. I am Kathy, and I love to be selling. I live in New York City. I am a top rated seller. I am selling on eBay for well over 15 years. Hi, Thomas. It is good to see you. Thanks for joining me. I started very small, like a lot of sellers, just selling odds and ends from around my apartment. I was a very casual seller to begin, really no intention of being a full time seller. I needed to be home to take care of my mom because she was in failing health. And eBay was the perfect fit. I just needed to help create a little bit of income for my family. Living in New York City, you might imagine, I don't have an attic, I don't have a basement. My husband and I have been married for a while and we had accumulated stuff. So eBay was the perfect place to sell things, which were great. They were in great shape. We knew they were worth money. We just didn't need them anymore. So I started listing on eBay and I started selling on eBay. And as you all know, when you start to get those sales, it's like, ooh, I like this. You also get wonderful comments and feedback from buyers. It is just fabulous. So come on in. You're in Florida. Thomas says he's in Florida. Enough said. I hear you, Thomas. Probably as hot as here or hotter. So what happened for me was then my mom passed, and then I scaled my business. I became a full-time eBay seller because I found that I really, really loved it, and it fit me and it fit my lifestyle and my family needs. I'm a trained eBay education specialist. I've got over 25 years of retail experience from here in New York in brick and mortar retail. And then I had the great joy of being on QVC as a product presenter for well over 6 years. And you go through a lot of training at QVC, plus you're watching top product presenters presenting product. You're noticing what gets results, what doesn't get results. And if you don't know, QVC, or at least when I was on, it was filmed live with like a 5 second delay. So if something happened, and things happen, you really learn to think on your feet, to respond. You really learn to listen. You got to listen to your host. You got to listen to the people that call in. You become a very responsive, because you got to react, responsive seller. So that was great training for me. So what I want to talk about today is back to school, because it is a huge, huge, huge selling season if you're not aware of it. Oftentimes the sellers were really focused on fourth quarter with Christmas, with Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. And we forget about midsummer to early fall with back to school. It is a multi-billion-dollar selling season. I mean, it is huge. And when I mention forgetting, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but for text messages, because I have certain people that I love dearly, but they text me a lot and I love them and I do want to read the text and I want to respond to the text, but I don't necessarily want my phone blowing up all day long, with text after text after text. So what I've done on my phone is I've gone into notifications, and for text messaging, I've turned the notification off. So then I have to remember to go into my text messages perhaps once a day and just check to see who's trying to get a hold of me. And sometimes I forget to go and check. And then I'll be talking to somebody and they'll say, oh, well, I texted you the other day. And I'm thinking, I've got to remember to check my texts. Thomas is saying uniform sales might be down this year. That's what I was going to talk about with back to school. So first of all is just, when you forget that you haven't set something up that should be set up. And I'm going to talk about that. So if that's ever happened to you, or with notifications where you're responding to the person, but you're responding a day or two late. And leading into back to school, it's something I wanted to talk about with you, is if you're not aware of this, with everything going on in the world, there's been a huge explosion for most sellers with online sales. Some sellers, it is a little slow. It's going to depend on your category. But for most sellers, and this is true around the world, I was actually reading an article about the online sales explosion in the United Kingdom. So this is something that is going on worldwide right now because in many areas there's a lot of restrictions on, having to wear masks or different things that you need to do to shop in person. And some areas are still having problems with stock. So what's happening is that shoppers are going online because it's far easier to shop online with you and me, yay, than to shop in the brick and mortars. And then again, some brick and mortars are doing the no touch pickup, which a lot of the restaurants here in the city are doing, and I know everywhere, which is you place your order online and then you go and pick it up. They bring it out to you, they hand it to you. But this is what I want to talk about with back to school. An enormous variety of things sell for back to school. It's not just, I always pick up, it's not just pens and pencils and notebooks. It's a huge array of things that people buy for themselves, teachers, for their children, all ages. Because remember, back to school is pre-K through college and postgraduate. Now, this year is very, very different because there's a lot of different protocols in place and they seem to be changing literally moment by moment. So you have areas that are going to be completely open with very little change. Then you're going to have other areas where there are some restrictions. Then you have other areas that are going to be completely online. So this is what I want to caution you with, because my thing is I'm here to help you. My specialty is to get your listing seen on eBay, to help you optimize for eBay search and to get it sold. So what I want is that any inventory that you have that's good for back to school, let's get it optimized so it gets seen by shoppers and get it sold. But this is my caution for you. Be aware that there are going to be huge changes to shopping behavior this year for back to school. For instance, if you have sold in the past a lot of backpacks, I would caution you because it's looking like a lot of kids are still going to be homebound and be doing schooling in the home. Now, do kids still need backpacks? Yes, because they go out, because parents need to store things. And some parents might take the children's books, notebooks, paper, pencils, and put it in a backpack in the child's room or the teenager's room for storage. So it's not that kids aren't going to be using backpacks. I know here in New York City, when I see school kids of all ages, and I mean from little guys, because there's a first through fourth grade in my neighborhood, and I see the kids out. And then there's also several high schools in my area. Okay. So I see kids of all ages, and they all use backpacks. Also, the messenger bags I notice are very popular, but for the most part, they use backpacks. So yes, they're still going to be using it, but this is my caution. And other things that excuse me, that have typically sold really well for back to school because you've kept records or you've checked your eBay solds or your inventory. And again, if you're not doing this, keep track. Keep track of what is trending every month so that you know for sourcing. Terapeak can help you with that, which if you are an eBay store owner, basic and higher, you have access to Terapeak, which is a research tool. And you can research trends in the past for things that sold. But this is my caution. This July is not like last July. This August is not like last August. And this September is not like last September. And this is what makes it very, very challenging for ordering, for listing, and for selling. Prices on some things might go very high because they become very in demand and they're short supply. Other things that in the past sold really well might not sell so well this year. So this is my tip for you. And this is what I'm telling my members, my social media insider members. And this is what I am telling my private clients. Yes, list for back to school. Yes, for my sellers that are ordering wholesale products. Yes, source back to school. However, be careful how much inventory you are holding. So last July, let's say I had 50 backpacks or 100 backpacks or 15, or let's say I sold a bunch of the notebooks or pen sets or pencil cases. Yes, continue to source it, but I would be very, very careful about how much I buy. Like if I go to a yard sale, I know a lot of places now are having online auctions in different areas, and then you go and pick it up. So be careful how much you're buying. If there's any way to buy a minimum, be careful how much money you're investing. Something might look very tantalizing. Perhaps it sold really well last year. But if it's a big, big, big buy for you, if it's, and this is different for everybody, which is why I don't want to say a dollar amount. For one person, $50 is a lot to invest in inventory. For somebody else, 500 is a lot. So whatever is a lot for you, just be cautious. If you're buying wholesale, if you can buy 25 rather than 50 or 50 rather than 100. When you go to that yard sale, if something's really inexpensive, really a great deal, okay. If it's sort of a push, again, look at your Terra Peak, look at your research, think. If kids are homebound, and kids I also include high school and college, is this something they would need? And that's really how we need to think this year. And I caution you to err on the side of caution. And the reason I do that is I have worked with sellers, and it grieves me. I get angry too. It grieves me because sometimes sellers get talked into things. It grieves me. I'm going to keep saying that. When I see a seller that somehow has gotten pushed, go for it, take a risk, whatever, and they have bought hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars of something, and they get stuck because somebody somehow talked them into buying the product. So it's like, go for it. This is a multi-billion-dollar selling season. Back to school is close to as big as Christmas. Okay. It really is huge. It's a huge variety of products that sell. And I don't want you to miss out on any of it. But be cautious. Be cautious how much money you invest. And I've actually done a guide to help you guys. And it's a freebie. It's my gift to you. It's over 20 pages. And let me just show you. You're going to want to go on my website. I love to be selling.com. And what you're going to do, let me just show you. What you're going to do is you're going to hop on my website, and you're going to see the ultimate guide to back to school products. It is over 20 pages, and you guys can have it. Just go there and just go on the website and order the ultimate guide to back to school products, special COVID 2020. It is my gift. It is completely free. It is over 20 pages of back to school product ideas. I have spent the past few weeks updating this list for you. I have a special appendix that I added with the idea for products that I believe will be in demand because of the COVID situation that we're living with right now. Okay. So things that you may not have thought of, there's things that are obvious that we need right now, but some other things that you may not have thought of. So go to my website. I love to be selling.com. Get your copy of the ultimate guide to back to school products, special COVID 2020. No matter what you sell, whether it is clothing, whether it is electronics, whether it is shoes, there are things that you can push right now for back to school. And even if you think, well, Kathy, I don't think I really have anything that's right for back to school, and I don't have access to new inventory right now. And maybe you have a lot of unlisted inventory, which sometimes happens for sellers. You want to grab this guide, because I will tell you, because this happens when I work with my sellers, oftentimes in that pile of unlisted inventory or in those things that you already have listed are great products for back to school. And you just need to tweak the language a little bit, push it on social media, and you will find that you are going to get great, great, great sales from back to school. Again, it is a multi-billion-dollar selling season. It is one that pretty much all sellers can take advantage of. And I want you to be able to get more and more sales during this season. So hop on my website, ilovetobeselling.com, grab your copy of the ultimate guide to back to school products. You will love it. I already, one of my friends, Paula, grabbed it already. She's like, this is amazing. And she works in the school system. She works on a school bus, helping kids. And she said, Kathy, this is better than what the school system put out. I was like, thank you, Paula. So please, please, please grab the guide. It is my gift to you. It is over 20 pages of ideas of things that sell for back to school. Enjoy. I'm Kathy, and I love to be selling. Bye-bye, everybody.